Hello everyone, this is Pramita here. Today I'm going to show you how I use up even the tiniest of the scraps that I have in my journals to make covers or make simple backgrounds. Um, this is my morning journal, and I have shared, I think a few days back, I had shared some pages that I had created out of total scraps, as you can see, and they turned out so well that I thought that I'd make a video on how to put these stuff up. I even made some tabs out of the scraps. I've just used a longer sheet of paper and then folded a little bit out here. So that's that. So I'm going to show you how I do that. Before that, I'm going to show how I've made the cover of my July daily journal using total scraps. Yeah, I've just glued these scraps up with some um, the clear glue that you get, and used clear gel on top of that, so just to give it a shiny finish, that's all. And I have just used some alpha stickers, and these are just some total scrap pieces that I had. So that's how I've made the cover. I'm just going to show you how I did that. It's a very simple video, no rocket science. And what I'm going to use is my total scraps that I have in thin strips. Just let me adjust my camera a little tiny bit so that you can see it properly. Yeah, so for that, of course, we're going to need a glue stick and some random bits and bobs of papers that you have. So I'm just going to glue these stuff in no order as such. Just take them randomly and start gluing them up. So this is my trusty glue stick, and I'm not going to chop off anything. I am not going to do any cutting, unless it's totally necessary. And I'm not bothered if the glue gets stuck on the page itself. I'm just going to, this is a very good way of using up your stash of scraps, total scraps. Just let me show you. I'm just leaving a little bit at the bottom so that I'm going to just, so that it lies flat. Okay, so that's that. Now maybe I'm going to add this piece. Now as you can see, I'm trying not to cut down much and use up as much as possible. So you can either put glue on the paper itself where you want to stick, or the paper that is going to be adhered onto it. Either way it works out fine. So I'm just going to add this bit. Now if you are a little bit cautious, you can color coordinate stuff and make it look awesome. So I'm just going to put this like so. Yeah, so that is that. So I'm just going to burnish that a little bit. Yeah, maybe a little bit over here so that it doesn't come off. It doesn't actually, and it works out so well. So I'm just going to add this paper over here, and for that what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it like this. So I'm just going to tear it with my hand just to give that rough edge. The effect is so good, and at the end of the day you have the sense of completion that you have used up so much of your rubbish. Basically you would have thrown these out otherwise, but me being me, I don't throw them out. I just use them in stuff like this, or I even stamp out some words, phrases, and use them as I go. I'm just going to put these as I like, and I'm going to tear off this part, maybe use it later on. This, so it's getting a vintagey old sort of look along with some bright pops of colors. I have no intention of mixing, matching, coordinating, nothing of that sort. I'm just laying down the papers. Gluing is a very freeing experience for me and for most of us. I'm just choosing some random bits of paper, strips that I've been hoarding for a while, because these are some of the leftovers that often end up you often end up with after making your journals, your pocket letters or whatever. So basically I'm just going to tear this part up. So as you can see, I'm left with a lot of stuff at the top. I can make a tab, and here are the scraps that I have. These are total scraps and they take such a lot of space, and if you use them up, you are repurposing them basically. So I like the idea of that, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to make a tab out of this. Now this is the extra bit that I have. I'm just going to fold this up and put some glue. Okay, and that's going to be your tab, and you might need to go back and glue a little bit here and there so that they don't come off, but otherwise they work out fine. See how easy it is. I'm also going to show you how I'm storing my scraps of papers in small booklets. Now I have seen Gina from the Rebookery channel. She had made these ephemera packs and was trying to sell them from her Etsy shop. But since I'm not selling them as such, I have made quite a few booklets using up my stash, which makes it much more easier to store and use. So I'm going to show you how I have made them. Now I have gone through my stash. I've seen what are the random bits and pieces that I have. I have made a folder of sorts, and I've added all kinds of paper to it and adhered with washi tape. I hope you can see this. Let me put the cap on. Yeah. I've used all sorts of papers, and I have not cut them down to size because at the end of the day I'm going to use them. So I have just stapled these, and if some of the papers are longer enough, I've folded with washi tape and added more bits and bobs inside those pockets. And this is how I'm storing my stash. I have just gathered up my random bits and stapled them using the method that I had shown in my previous a tutorial of sorts while making journals. And this is a smaller booklet where I have smaller bits and pieces. So as you can see, I've stapled this up, and as and when I need papers, I can always go back to these small booklets, take them and cut out pages from here or punch out pieces from here or whatever, and use them in my journals. So this is another one. This is a tiny booklet. I have just stapled in the middle and made them into small booklets. So these are very easy to store, and you can take them on the go and use them when you like. I'll put a link of Gina's channel. She has these awesome ephemera booklets of sorts. But since I am only having this for myself, uh, if anybody is interested, I can show how I did this. But anyways, it's no rocket science. You can just put a few pieces of paper that you have lying around, which you intend to use, into booklet form, and then staple it. That's how I have done this. There are random pieces of paper, book pages, punched out pieces, everything is there which I will use up in my journals. So that's the main idea behind this, and I have made quite a few. This is an envelope from Planner Society, and I've put stuff inside also so that it works as a envelope. And over here there's another one. I have put stuff inside that also. So basically these are all storage ideas, and it has helped me a lot to see what I have. It often happens is that I keep them in a box, and then I have to go through them whenever I'm looking for some papers. So at the end of the day, it takes a lot of hard work. So to avoid that, I made them into such booklets. Yeah, I have made 6 booklets, and whenever I need some paper, I can just take these booklets and go through them and use them up randomly as I need. So, and maybe after I have made them into tiny scraps like this, I'll glue them up somewhere, just making backgrounds or covers or collaging them or stamping on them or something of that sort. So that is the basic idea behind storing these papers into booklet forms, because it makes easier to go through and see your stash. So I liked Gina's ideas, and she had them into small booklets tied with ribbons, with the intention that you can even use up the ribbons as you go. But since I don't have that kind of ribbon stash or anything of that sort, I thought I'd just, staple these booklets, and they have worked out fine till date. So that's the idea behind storing this scraps, and I think it's a very good idea. You can try this if you have a ton of scraps, but that is the amount I have, not more. So, and I was pretty happy that I used to have a lot of scraps and stash and rubbish papers and stuff like that, but I have been very good at using up stuff. So I'm happy with what I've done, and I really wanted to share that you can use up so many things in your junk journals or your trashy junk journals, uh, or your journals as per se. So yeah, you can try this method of storage, and it has worked out fine for me. And you can also glue up bits and bobs that you have on pages to give it a background. So that's that, and I'm just going to show you how awesome it looks after you have written some stuff up on them. Like I have done this. I have just drawn a random picture of flower. These are some random bits and bobs. These are total scraps, thin strips of paper. I've just glued them down and I've journaled on them. This is a thing that I had been doing today. So, and it looks pretty well. I have journaled in small strips, just to follow the trend of the pages, and I've done it over here. This is my total brain dump in the morning when I sit down and write down whatever is on my mind. It can be my daily chores, it can be something I'm grateful for, something that I intend to do over this week, or some feeling, something someone has said, what I'm watching or what I'm listening to, what I'm reading, anything and everything goes into this book. And I think July, first week of July, I'll complete this book, and then I'll have to move on to something new. And I hope you like this video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I'll be soon back with other such ideas. Bye for now.